Revelation 1568. From the 14th of August 1940. Rough substance. Shape. Substance. The rough materialization of originally spiritual substance cannot be avoided as long as an external form is necessary to force the spiritual in this form to serve. The spiritual is in the unbound state also a free being which can determine about itself. However, as soon as this spiritual is surrounded with a cover, it is hindered in its self-determination. It is bound exactly by a material cover which it must overcome now in a certain time in order to be freed again from it. All material around the spiritual substance is condensed spiritual, thus in itself likewise spiritual substance, that is emerged from the all-creating power, however became by divine will the form, which is to hold and mature spiritual in itself. Because everything what has come out of God is spiritual substance, only the degree of maturity of this substance is different. And therefore a difference is to be made between the spiritual in the form and the spiritual which has become the form. The spiritual in form is already so far developed by the divine will that it may often change the stay in the different forms, while the spiritual that has become form is still in the beginning of its higher development. The still undeveloped spiritual now enables the already more mature spiritual to fulfill the certain task given to it. It thereby serves this spiritual by also helping it to serve. And so everything in the creation advances in the development. The coarse material appears transient to man, but in its substance it is just as little transient as the spiritual, which is enclosed by the material cover. For it apparently disintegrates into nothing, but in reality dissolves only into its substance, provided it has fulfilled its actual task. One distinguishes therefore a fleeing of the spiritual from the form and an evaporation of the form itself. The spiritual that has become free from the form looks for a new cover depending on the state of maturity, while the form itself dissolves into its original substance and is again a volatile element until it is again condensed by God's will into a new form. The coarse material is therefore nothing else than something spiritual, which becomes visible according to the will of God for the earth-man, which therefore takes the form which God determines to him and which remains form as long as the divine will needs such a form for the spiritual being in the higher development. The form is visible as long as the spiritual has not solved its task yet, however, becomes invisible as soon as the task is fulfilled. Amen.